Let's shift focus to commodities markets. And Manisha is here with what is top of mind for her. Manisha, good morning.
Morning, Prashant. Thank you for that. Well, I'm looking at the crude oil prices right now because we've seen a bit of a gains here. But remember, it's going to be a very, very interesting and important week as far as the crude oil prices go. Well, to begin with, it is OPEC and allies meeting, and a couple of them slated for this weekend itself. So on 31st of May, it is a OPEC and allies, OPEC plus ministerial online meeting, which will talk about production going forward and as far as July and perhaps beyond as well. And then 8 of those OPEC and OPEC plus members will meet on 31st of May yet again, and they would talk about on whether or not they can keep up with these production quotas that have been assigned to them. So interesting cues coming there. Remember, OPEC has started to increase production and intends to increase it to 2.2 million barrels per day by the month of November. Apart from that, we also have seen Iran hiking prices for Asian buyers for the month of June. This is $1.8 a barrel above the Oman averages that India buys in there and most of the Asian countries as well. So that also seems to be supporting the prices. And US has been talking about potential new sanctions coming in on Russia if that ceasefire or the conversation between Russia and Ukraine doesn't happen soon enough. So that is yet another thing. And then the markets also are looking at impact perhaps from US barring Chevron from exporting crude oil from Venezuela. Remember, those sanctions have come in for Venezuelan oil exporting companies there. But US also says that Chevron can continue to hold its assets in Venezuela, but it cannot expand any more activities within that country. So various stuff happening around the world, and that has been keeping the crude oil prices around that $64, $66 per barrel mark. Markets also are then looking at Iran conversations. Remember, we have seen 5 rounds of conversations also already happen. Now, Iran says that it is open to compromise on its nuclear program in talks with the US, but Iran also says that it should be allowed to continue to process its interest in sense of nuclear energy there. So that conversation, while on the positive side, but still is far away from having happened there. The markets then also are looking at Baker Hughes' report, which suggests that there is a constant decline in US oil and rig count. It's to the lowest since November 2021 right now. So this whole conversation about US will increase production a lot isn't really happening, and that's what's supporting the markets there. As I said, OPEC and OPEC allies meeting is something that the street will watch out for. But apart from that, it also is about the Fed policy meeting minutes. Well, that gets released today. The markets also will watch out for the first quarter GDP numbers from US. It also is about the PCE data that comes in on Friday, and then weekly jobless claims numbers. So lots of data, lots of meeting events, and then, of course, those statements from US are never ending. All of that impacting the crude oil prices right now.
All right, Manisha, thank you very much for that. So that is the triggers to watch as we go forward. We'll take